Hey ladies and gents, Spoony Pizzas here, and today I want to review and sort of talk to you about what I think about eFootball over the past year or so, and mainly review version 2.3 and why I've not been doing many videos and stuff. You might want to perhaps wonder. Well, it's because I don't think the game is in that great a state right now. There's a lot of problems with the gameplay that I find that's just not making it exciting or interesting for me personally. But I just want to talk to you about the game overall. I mean, let's start with outside of the gameplay, obviously the content itself. You know, we're getting regurgitated players, player packs where they just, you know, we've had better players in the past. So I look at the player packs and I'm like, why would I want to buy any of these players? There's literally no reason other than the fact that you might want to build a squad to have a little bit of fun with it, you know? For example, Kano the other day. 3-star player. I just wanted to try out 3-star players because we wanted to see, you know, who was the best 3-star player. Little things like this, or perhaps you want to like create a land of giants like I did the other day, where we just sign all the tall players and put them in a squad and see what happens. In that regard, the game is that aspect of it is kind of funny and fun for me, but for me personally, I don't think like the packs where they regurgitate these players. I mean, how many Mbappes have we got now? Got like 6 different versions of Mbappe, and then another one's just come out right now. So, I mean, I'm just fed up with that. That is boring as hell to me. I mean, like, I suppose, you know, they are limited in what they can do in terms of, you know, players and what have you, and give them slightly different player skills and slightly different stats. And you're like looking at each player and going, oh my god, he's got 1 or more acceleration, but he's got 1 less speed, or he's got 1 touch passing instead of, you know, I don't know, long range cutter. Things like this, and I'm just like, This is just, I don't know, the player packs for me are a little bit boring, and I suppose there's not a lot they can do. They have to regurgitate the best players that are playing well at the time, and you find the best players keep performing really well. So if that's their way of doing it, I don't know if it's the best way forward. Like all these player of the week packs, you know, how many Haalands are we going to have? How many Mbappes are we going to have? They're going to keep performing, so it's just getting boring. They just change the play style and maybe like they say, the stats ever so slightly. So yeah, so from that aspect, you know, outside of the gameplay, it is getting a little bit boring. It is getting a little bit stale. I'm getting tired of reviewing packs because it's boring as hell, in my opinion. And then the gameplay. So let's just touch on the gameplay, shall we? So at the minute, obviously they improved the passing, sort of the passing, the dribbling, the first touch, all that good stuff. And at first, when I played offline, it wasn't too bad. I find the AI difficulty a little bit too easy now, with a 4-2-3-1 formation. I think that's probably the way to go against the AI right now. But yeah, it's not like a massive challenge. And at first, it felt really good. I was like, oh yeah, this is really good. This is playing really nicely. But the more I play, the more I've seen the flaws in the game, and I think the biggest flaw for me is the through balls right now. Like, from a defensive point of view, there is no point trying to track runs because you'll get punished. If you select the defender and try to track and run manually without holding X or anything like that, you're going to get destroyed. Like, that's how I normally defend, right? I normally pick up the player, track the run, try to be intelligent, try to intercept the pass. It's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. And I was getting melted. And I was like, what the hell's going on? So then I changed the way I defend, just hold X, and then I win the ball back fairly easily. And don't really use the matchup button all that much anymore because it's absolutely broken. Like, you can try to intercept passes with the matchup button, and it's just not happening. You can position your player perfectly, and I'll show you some examples of that. And, like, as soon as you take that away, this ability to actually start thinking about what you're doing, and instead just rely on the controls to do the defending for you, you know, that for me kills the part of the game. Like half the game for me was, when you play online, is predicting your opponent's patterns and you know, trying to cut out the passing lanes and, you know, be smart about it, right? But now it doesn't seem to be that way. It seems to be like, okay, just get your players back into your penalty box, defending numbers. Hopefully you win the ball back just by holding X, and then you go yourself. And then it's a case of 1-2s, through balls through the middle. I mean, if you've got a fast player now, before, you know, PES never used to be, or eFootball and PES never used to be about fast players. It was all about smart, creative play, building up slowly adjusting the tempo when you're in like the final third of the pitch to try and break down your opponent. Maybe you'd find like crosses were working well, maybe you find through balls were working well. Maybe you wanted to build up slowly because you felt your team weren't progressing up the pitch fast enough. Maybe you wanted to do quick counterattacks where players were like heavy assaulting on your goal, and then you just like spring quick counters. Like all that tactical nous and ability you could put into your game to try and combat and beat your opponent seems to be gone. It's just like literally there is only one way to play this game. That is 1-2 spam right down the middle, through balls, typical narrow 4-3-3 formations, 2 centre forwards, support striker, maybe an attack midfielder in behind, and all that does is just confuse the defence to hell. And yeah, I can play that way too, but it's boring as hell. I don't want to play that way. And the level 1 passing, my goodness, I was thinking, geez, everyone's like passing through me like nothing. I'm on level 3 majority of the time, but I flicked it to level 1. Oh my goodness. I wish there was a clip I recorded, and I should have recorded, sorry. And I played this through ball and I didn't even think about it, right? I was just on level 1, I was just messing around. I pressed the through ball button, it went through about 4 defenders, literally straight through 4 defenders, across the edge of the box and into the path of Foden. He scores, and the player I was playing quit, and I don't blame him, because I was like, look at that and go, wow, that's just gone through 4 players, and I'm getting exactly the same. Like I said, the matchup button is just not working for me at all. It's completely broken. The through balls are way too overpowered. Pace in this game, it's all about pace and through balls now. Like Mbappe is absolutely insane. Like I can show you clips, and if you look at the I played that like knockout round where basically it's golden goal, you score 1 goal and you finish the round. I played this round and every goal was pretty much the same. I'm going to show you that right now as well. So you're going to see every single goal and it's exactly identical, and the same style of play. He was just through ball spamming, I was through ball spamming. It is so boring, but I had to get the wins, so I was just like, I'm just going to play the same game you're playing and see who wins. And it was a little bit back and forth, like basketball, and then eventually I did get the 3 wins on the bounce. But I hated playing that way, and it doesn't reward you for playing a slow build up anymore. It doesn't reward you for playing intelligently. Super Council has been nerfed as well. I find Super Council has been nerfed, so now I find that sometimes it's better not even to use Super Council at all, because I was just getting beaten in the air, beating in tackles. It's just all about holding X to win the ball back now, and for me this game is becoming so skillless. Like I mean greatest respect to those top players, but I don't know how they played the game for so long in that sort of style, that through ball style, narrow formations. For me, that is boring to watch, boring to play as. I'm like, I want to play some football. Yeah, sure, you can do a few skills, double touches, blah, blah, blah. That for me is not football. For me, football is not about getting to the front 3 players as quickly as you can, try and 1-2 spam, try and double touch your way to glory. That, for me, is boring as hell. Like, I literally cannot even count on one hand how many proper games of football I've actually had where my opponent is actually trying to play a possession-based style. Everyone is pretty much the same. Everyone in the 2100 challenge was France. Everyone in the international stage is majority of France. I would say 50 or 60% of the player base that I'm playing against seems to be playing as France. Don't blame them, because Mbappe is absolutely sensational. Like I said, speed, through balls are the way to go in this game right now. And for me, that was never PES or eFootball, and the way it's just gone right now is just absolutely atrocious. So, oh god, guys, I'm just absolutely at an end with this game, to be honest with you. I mean, I know a lot of you are feeling the same. Some of you thought that way since it launched, and I don't blame you at all. Version 1 seems such a long way, like time ago. Even 2.2 was better than 3.3 in my 2.3 in my opinion, because at least with 2.2 you had to build your play up a little bit. It was pretty much the same way of playing the whole time, every single time. Like you had to just pass people to death. Didn't really reward dribbling at all. Now it doesn't even. I don't know what they've done with the game. Honestly, the balance is completely messed up. Like it just it's basically stripped it back so much that you're just left with basic controls to beat your opponent. And yeah, while the dribbling has improved and the first touch and all the rest of it, the game feels faster. The game feels much faster than it did. And I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing at all. And, you know, probably a lot of players do like the fact you can just run away from players with Mbappe. I'm like, this is going down the FIFA route. This is like, honestly, I swear they're trying to mold this game into FIFA. But they're doing a really, really bad job at it. And everyone is like, FIFA's bad, FIFA's this, FIFA's that. But I tell you what, FIFA, at least it's got the balance right. The balance in the FIFA is absolutely brilliant. Like, defending and attacking is on the edge all the time. Yeah, it's not the greatest and most realistic gameplay. But what they're trying to do is very, very clear. They're trying to add a sort of skill-based element where, you know, all the skills work. Going, you know, when you attack your opponent or defending, that balance feels just right. Like, you're up against Sterling or someone, they're jinking left and right. You're like, okay, you gotta like try and track and guess where they're gonna go. You can intercept passing lanes. You know, it's a fully featured game, and it works. It's not, like I said, it's not the most realistic, but this right here is absolutely atrocious right now. And if I look at it from a whole year perspective, I mean, we have not had the progression we deserve, in my opinion. I mean, what's it been now? Oh god, it feels like 5 years since they've been sort of making this game in the versions they brought out, and it just seems to go. It's like a bit of a roller coaster. It goes up and down, up and down. Like version 1, like even that had issues, and that was far from perfect. I think I scored that a 6 out of 10. But when I look back now, I'm seeing it more as a 7, and I just think, where are we now? And right now, I think 2.3 is one of the worst updates, because it's just, like I said, it's just stripped it all back. It's become really dumbed down. It's really basic. And I'm just fed up with this game, lads. I am literally fed up. I mean, I've been rambling for 12 minutes, and I haven't really covered all the aspects of the gameplay, which I want to sort of cover off. But for me right now, like, not much has changed from 2.2, but the subtle changes they've made just dumb this game so far down that it's become pretty much unplayable, in my opinion. So I want to run through my sort of score sheet for eFootball 2022-2023 and just run through all the categories just to make sure I've not missed anything. So the shielding and physical battles, you know, honestly, you just don't know who's going to win the ball. It just seems to reward the person who can press the pass button the quickest, because when you get two players close together with the ball, sometimes you just press the pass button and it releases the ball to someone else nearby, and that basically is how you basically engage in these one-on-one physical battles. And for me, that's really poor. It should be about winning the ball first. You can't just... How can you pass the ball when you're being challenged by someone side by side and the ball's right there next to you? Like, if you tried to do that in real football, that just isn't going to happen. You can't just pass the ball off. Yeah, sure, you might get a toe for it, but you wouldn't have any accuracy on that pass. And that's what they need to make the sort of changes to. Like, if you try to play a pass back when you're under, like, physical exertion, that pass should not be, like, so accurate like it is. So they need to fix that. That's absolutely so poor. And we'll talk about the sort of physical battles from a defensive point of view in a minute. But in terms of winning the ball when you're in these battles, just pressing the pass button the quicker seems to be the way how the mechanics are sort of developed for these encounters. With regards to the first touch, now, like I said, it has improved, but I don't think it's improved for the sake of the game. I feel like this is increasing the overall pace of the game, so it feels a lot quicker. I don't know what you guys feel like, but I feel like the games are like more zippy. Like, honestly, it's like ping ping ping, like the passes are like ping pong, and yeah, for me it's just not working. So with the first touch being improved, in my opinion, this is having a negative impact. So I've actually scored this down from version 2.2. With regards to sprinting with the ball, I have to admit this does feel a lot better. Your players feel more agile. Again, it does, you know, increase or contribute to the increased pace of the game. But regards to the through ball, like I said, honestly, they're so overpowered right now. Like, getting the ball to Mbappe seems to be the way forward. That's all I was doing in the golden goal. I was just passing the ball, through ball to Mbappe. He runs through, and honestly, the goals look pretty much identical. The ones that I was scoring anyway, and that's how it felt. And PES has never been about that. PES or eFootball has never been about scoring the same goal. Well, I would say more PES than eFootball. PES has never been about scoring the same goal over and over again. Like, you would very rarely see the same goal scored twice in a game. Very, very rarely. But in eFootball, you can score the same goal over and over again. And it just doesn't feel great. It just doesn't feel rewarding, doesn't feel exciting when I play games. And that's why I haven't put up many videos out. It's just not exciting to me. But regarding the low passing, I've actually scored this down as well. Passing seems far too accurate right now. There's very few straight passes. You can have a player on 80 passing, and it doesn't feel any different to having someone with 90 plus passing. So right now, the passing's far too accurate. But for me, the main downside of this game is more around the defensive side. Like, I would say, like, the dribbling with the ball has much improved, like I said, and just general left stick movement with the ball without sprinting is much improved as well. But it's the defensive aspect of this game where it's really broken. And first up is the matchup button. Like I said, it feels totally broken. Like, you can be there, you can hold the matchup button, but the ball could just go through like 3 of your players' legs, and you're just like, how is this possible? The single player press, like I said, holding X seems to be the best way to defend right now. I think it's boring as hell. It just like, your player zooms in, gets to the player with the ball, and then you just work your left stick magic from there to win the ball back. And for me, that is so boring. Like, just relying on a single button to help you try and win the ball back is not the way to go, in my opinion. So you literally just hold X for the win, and it's pretty poor. With regards to the team press, this is also scored down. So the secondary indicated player isn't always the player that presses the ball. It's one of the sort of bugs from the past. They fixed it in 2.2, but I swear it's like they're digging up old code at the time, and they're like stitching it together, because what I'm seeing is patterns of where they fix it in one version, and then it comes back in this version. It's like, what are they doing? It's like they're picking up different parts of the game or changing aspects of the game, and it's like, wait, you coded this out a minute ago in like version 2.2. Why is it back in 2.3? We saw this in version 1.1.1 and 2.1.0, and in between each of those versions is a version where it's been fixed. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense why it's fixed in one version and then it comes back in this latest version. So yeah, not always when you have a secondary player press, you press the right bumper. The player that you expect to press or to come in and help you win the ball back isn't necessarily the secondary player or indicated player. It's just really, really poor. Ah, jeez, I'm at a loss for this game, to be honest, lads. But the defending in general is just a complete mess. Just players not latching onto loose balls. Players can like sprint past you. There can be a big gap between the player with the ball. Your player's right there, could get the ball, but it just goes straight through him. He like literally goes through that player, and it's honestly so poor. I actually sort of tweeted out the other day, or retweeted someone's comment about, they had a player who's basically sprinted right through the guy, literally ghosted right through him, and I was just like, this is so poor. God, that's the main issues for me. But the recovery times now are far too fast. Like, literally, you can pass the ball, your player intercepts the ball, but the player who passed the ball can just run up to your player and take the ball back again. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Like, if I make an interception, there has to be some sort of delay without having this freezing, the freezing bug that I so often talk about, where when you intercept the ball, there's like a bit of a freeze. It looks like they completely removed it, and it's like, well, they haven't completely removed it. There's still freezing going on, but there are instances where there's no freeze for that player for whatever reason. I don't know how it's coded, and they just win the ball back. So there's no sort of risk in them passing the ball in the first place and you intercepting it, because they just win it back straight away. Oh god. And then, like I said, right in the collisions, players just ghosting through each other sometimes. Obviously it's not clipping, but it's just the way it looks on screen. Like, they just literally just run through them, and they've got the ball, you run in a straight line, Your defender, you position him perfectly. He's lined up with the ball. The player, he doesn't really go through him, but he goes round him, and neither your defender should win the ball in that instance, but he doesn't. He just and the player just runs straight through. He's through on goal and he scores, and you're like, wow, what is going on? What is going on? So yeah, for 2.3 lads, I mean, whilst they have improved the dribbling and first touch, the defending aspect has been so dumbed down. You're no longer rewarded for cutting out passing lanes, and using the matchup and jockey button is totally broken, and the level 1 passing is absolutely ridiculous. It's off the scale right now. It's so overpowered. So I'm finding myself having to switch to level 1 passing a lot of the times just to be able to compete with these other players playing exactly the same way. You see the formation. You know the formation I'm talking about. It's 4-3-3. A right back as a centre back. You got three forwards, 2 centre forwards, a support striker, an attacking midfielder in behind, and it is so boring to play or use, and it's so boring to watch. In my opinion, I would never find myself watching that sort of player. And I appreciate the pros out there wanting to reach the top of the game, and that is fine. But if you're just like a mediocre player just playing that way because if you find it wins, guys, honestly, stop. Just you cannot be enjoying that football. You can't be enjoying that type of football. Defending now is all about falling back in numbers. And then once you got your players back in numbers, hold X. That's why you're finding the sort of quick counter style. So possession style is completely broken right now. The possession style is absolutely broken. I don't know what's happened to it. I think the fullbacks push up more earlier on. So if you get caught early on, you're going to get ripped to shreds. I just think that the overall player positioning seems worse as well. Certainly from a possession point of view, my players are not in the right positions. They're just not approaching the ball correctly. I don't know what's going on, but there's something wrong with the possession style, and I can't put my finger on it. I need to look down from a top down aspect and say, what is going on here? What has changed since version 2.2? Honestly, this game requires very little intelligence to play right now, and it's so sad to see how far this game's fallen. But this year, I look at it and I think, cool, there's lots of ups and downs throughout the year. They improve some aspects in one version, then they get worse in the next version, and it's like, well, how are you going? How is this even happening? But I was lucky enough to go to HQ, and what they have is they have multiple builds of the same game, and they're like, everyone tests all the builds, and they all go, oh, this is our favorite build, and then they pick out that build, and then they go with it. So yeah, I think that's why so much changes. They fix some aspects of the game, and then they're broken the second maybe for the next version or the next edition. So yeah, honestly, this game just feels completely broken right now, and I cannot recommend 2.3 to anyone. And like I said, the player packs are getting pretty boring and pretty stale. Same players coming out. I mean, sheesh, honestly, this game guys, it's not good. Anyway, I want to hear what you guys think. And are you enjoying this game? How are you feeling about 2.3? For me, it's completely broken and completely dead. And that's why I'm not making videos on this right now, because I'm just at a loss. I just can't play a game that I'm not enjoying. So I'm playing other games and I'm enjoying those, and that's why I'm not bringing out much content. But we have got Smoke Patch, the Smoke Patch Football Life 2023 2.0 out now, which I'm looking forward to getting my teeth in, and maybe we'll do a bit of a stream sometime this week. So possibly Friday, maybe even tonight. Who knows? Anyway, that is it for me, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the ramble. I had to just get this off my chest. I'm fed up with eFootball right now. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Until next time, guys, take care. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.